And I've just got my lovely gardening shoes on. I've got my rucksack over my shoulder. Hello creative souls, and welcome to this week's video. I've packed a bag because I'm going from my studio all the way down to the garden. I'm going to sit by the pond today and create some art in my Sea Whites journal. I'm going to do some mixed media art, but then after that I'm going to showcase the new granulating paints by Kuretake, because I've been seeing a lot of dragonflies lately and I thought the granulating paints, which are quite transparent, should be perfect for their delicate wings. So stick around to the end where I will swatch the colours and show you how to paint a beautiful dragonfly. Wow, I don't know how well you can hear me because of the wind, but I've been sitting here sketching and painting some dragonflies, and literally this blue and green dragonfly has started flying around me and the pond. He's currently behind me at the moment, but I may have caught some footage of him hovering around the pond looking for somewhere to settle. How joyous this experience has been, just being here creating, and along comes the blue and green dragonfly. Right, I'm in from the garden now. It was starting to get mighty warm out there, so back in the studio I've closed all the windows and I've had to pull the blinds down, which are just here, because the afternoon sun is just coming in. In the garden, I quickly did a sketch of the pond just to warm up, just to loosen up, and I included the tiny little dragonfly that turned up whilst I was painting. Such a spiritual experience for me. And then these are my loose dragonflies, and I actually managed to paint them upside down in my sketchbook. You know, doesn't matter, does it? Oh, very quickly. This is the watercolour duck demonstration that I did at the weekend on Patreon. So if you want to watch the workshop on how to paint this mallard duck, then head over to Patreon and become a free member, and you get that art tutorial for free. I am going to show you my new Kuretake Granulating Colours. Now, I have done a video on this set. These have got the Aurora colours in. So we've got Aurora red, pink, orange, blue and violet. And they're lovely transparent colours. But I noticed that they've just brought out Granulating Colours 2. And these ones are all the cosmic colours. So we've got cosmic red, olive, green, blue and violet. And I thought these colours might be perfect for dragonflies. So I'm going to swatch them so you can see what the colours do. I think the key to these colours is to add plenty of water. So we'll give it a go together. I bought a new watercolour pad. This was fairly inexpensive. It's 100% cotton and it's about A5 size, 300 GSM. And I managed to pick this up on Amazon thanks to Diane Anton, who pointed out that this was on sale. Diane Anton also has done several videos on dragonflies, so if you want to head over there and see her videos, they are absolutely amazing. She is a brilliant watercolour artist with many years of experience. What else have I got? Some Meaden water brushes. I'm on the hunt to find a perfect water brush now I've been converted to water brushes. This one has a push button on it to release the water. I used this out in the garden, so it's a little bit stained with green. But this is a pack of 6. And the reason why this appealed to me is that they're all different sizes. Included in the pack is a big flat brush for background washes. So I've got those that I've tried out. And I've got a new Escoda travel brush. This is a size 8. And I think I might use this to do my dragonflies. Very quickly, I've printed this photograph off of Pixabay. It's a royalty-free image. I'll leave the details below. And this is a bit of a crib sheet that I've made up from Canva. I do pay a monthly subscription to Canva. It's just a little bit of research into dragonflies, and these are all hand painted. Just gives you a bit of guidance. And I think that's it. I'm just going to crack on. Right, let's open these up. Like the other set, this has got a spare mixing palette. And on the instructions it says apply water brush with colour to activate it. So that is what I've got. I'm just going to dip into it. And really wake it up to activate it. And I'm going to dump it in here. And I'm going to do that with all of them to see how it sort of settles. Right, so speaking from experience, these paints will react differently on different paper. So I'm going to swatch it first on here, then I may go to my sketchbook to try and get the best out of the colours. So I'm going to literally be dumping loads of water for each swatch. So putting the colour on now, dipping into the cosmic red. Whoa. And I'm just going to let it do its thing. Right, so the last one I'm going to do in real time because I love the effect of this wet in wet technique. So I'm just making a circle dumping in quite a bit of water. And I'm going to pick up the last colour, which is Cosmic Violet. And when you touch your brush to that water, it just is like a paint explosion. And I'm literally just going to leave it to do its thing and see how it dries. So we can already see in the Cosmic Red, we've got some yellow in there, we've got some purple in the olive, and so I'm just going to leave it to dry. This is completely dry, and I did some more swatches in my Sea Whites journal just to see if the paper made any difference to the colours, and to be perfectly honest with you, it doesn't. So I'm going to do my Dragonfly on this page. I've put some washi tape around the edge, and I'm just going to do a loose Dragonfly, and I'm going to use my HB pencil, and what I'm going to do is just do a line with a slight curve in it, and then up here is the head. Then we have the body, and then he has like a extra bulgy bit here, and then I'm just going to run the watercolour down there. And then for the wings, they go from just behind the head, and then we have another pair here, and then I'm just going to sort of make the wings up. They're not going to be accurate. You can have whatever shape you like. There we go. I'm not going to fuss. I'm not going to put every single leg in, every single detail. I'm just going to leave it like that. Let me just bring you in a little bit closer. There you go, just a rough drawing of a dragonfly. Right, I've put you back on real time to do the wings. This paint I wouldn't say is granulating. I watched an artist last night on YouTube who's also tested out these paints, called Jane Royston, and she hit the nail on the head. She said they're more separating than granulating, and as you can see, I sort of followed the instructions from the Granulating Colours 1 and sort of dumped a load of water in, because a lot of artists negatively reviewed these paints about a year ago, but then when they went back to them and tried them again, they sort of changed their minds. And so I sort of taken their advice and sort of dumped lots of water in. It's not really granulating. I mean, these dragonflies are quite small, so, you know, maybe there's just not enough area for them to granulate. They're really pretty colours. They're really pretty paints. but I would, if you're doing a sort of serious piece, I would probably go with the Schminky super granulating paints. They're quite fun. Maybe I'll do a video about those. So I've just dropped water into the first wing, and then I've loaded my brush and I'm just dropping the paint in, and I'm going to let it run and just see how the paint performs. Now I've put quite a lot of pigment in there, which, you know, really, Dragonfly wings are pretty translucent. But, you know, this is how we learn, is just by playing and experimenting. I'm just going to do the other side, and I'm just dropping clean water in, picking up some paint on my brush and just dropping it in and coaxing it up to the other end of the wing. Just rinsing my brush off. So clean, damp brush, and encourage it to the tips. And trying not to fiddle. Here's my finished piece. Just some simple, whimsy dragonflies. I painted the background very loosely first of all with lots of water, and I used the end of my paintbrush just to create some grassy flicks. Lots of wet on wet technique. These paints, they look amazing in the palette when they've separated, but sadly they don't tend to do that on the page. I think that's to do with maybe user error, but also they're not as granulating as I was led to believe. However, on a positive note, they're beautiful ethereal colours. They're subtle, they're transparent, and they're very pretty. I hope you've enjoyed this week's video. Thank you for watching.